even if a doc has some of these other modalities in their practice, NovoPulse is really separate and distinct because of much because of the patented technology and approach that it takes. For docs listening and thinking, okay, I'm starting to put this together. I do chiropractic adjustments. Maybe I do some rehab. Maybe I do some other modalities. How do you see and where do you see NovoPulse fit in alongside or with a typical chiropractic practice?
Like I mentioned earlier, and I'll kind of dive into that a little bit more. It does not replace the chiropractic adjustment. It does not replace any soft tissue work that you're doing to normalize, neurological function, neuromuscular function. What it does do is that it reduces the inflammation within that joint, and it helps those tissues to interact with that electric field to repair themselves. I mean, it stimulates that because it interrupts that anti-inflammatory path or that inflammatory pathway that we mentioned earlier. And so it whether the patient is acute or chronic, and maybe even has OA that's evidenced by X-ray, it becomes a mainstay treatment and even maintenance therapy moving forward, so that you can manage and control that while you get the body structure, the biomechanics normalized for the patient the best that you can. And so from an adjunctive perspective, very specifically, that's where it comes into play. My early experience, just as a sidebar, if I may,
please.
When I became familiar with the NovoPulse and the founders, who are honestly rocket scientists. I mean, they're nuclear physicists. They've been in the field for like 40 years. They have over 120 patents. I mean, these guys are amazing. Anyway, I had difficulty with my lower cervicals, facet arthrosis, to the point where I was getting radiculopathy, and I mean, I felt like my shoulder was going to blow off. Honestly, tried everything, did traction, adjustments, all of that. I practiced in a surgery center, and so I ended up seeing one of the pain management anesthesiologists. They ended up injecting my facet joints, which brought it like from a 8 or 9 down to like a 3 or 4, and then it just stayed there, on the pain scale. And as I started learning about this, I thought, and then my neck started to kick up, and I thought, okay, well, let's try this thing. Let's see if it works. Within 3 weeks, my pain was completely gone. And then I left it alone. And it was about a year later, I felt it start to come back, like, oh, I can feel this, put it on again, and it was gone. And what was interesting about that, my experience matches what they found in the research with this type of electric field stimulation, that when they put people through treatment and they did it like in a 6-week trial, okay? And then what they did is they did a 1-year follow-up and they did a 2-year follow-up. Their pain scores and their function scores remain relatively stable. I mean, how many therapies have we used over the years that, and even like our adjustments that we can say that, a year or 2 down the road, that they're good. Now we can say that, I think, overall for our adjustments, but there are cases where that they have ongoing problems. If they don't get treatment, they're going to regress, within a certain time frame. Well, this gives you a pretty good clue as to the effectiveness of this type of device and what it actually does to help break up that inflammatory pathway and cause, some reparation to occur, within that cartilage tissue. So, it's in terms of what we can do in practice and how we utilize it in practice. Honestly, it becomes a very necessary adjunct. If you've got joint inflammation, the patient's in an acute or subacute situation, it's relevant. If the patient has chronic pain, maybe due to OA or whatever, it becomes relevant. It even becomes relevant that for patients who have, let's say, moderate OA or have, continued problems, that they can utilize this at home, and that's one of the unique things about this device. Is very simple, and patients can purchase it from their providers and use it at home. So yeah, just a wide range of things.
Yeah, you're describing just an overwhelming majority of the patients that go into so many chiropractic practices each and every day, and really being able to have an additional opportunity to help them, not only in the short term, but as you described, also in the long term, in a way that I'm going to say complements a lot of what you're already doing. I think is really just fantastic. And for docs listening and watching, we're going to make sure to drop a link down in the show notes. So if you'd like to connect with the NovoPulse team and understand how this would fit into your practice, please connect with them at the link down below. And on that note, I want to take a moment to discuss really what I call the system. You highlighted to me a little bit behind the scenes of, NovoPulse. There's a device component to this, but there's much more. And you've spent a good amount of time, effort, and energy building just what I call a fantastic resource library that enables a doctor and their team, docs and your team, to be able to step in and understand how to utilize this, how to speak about it, and additional continuing education. Maybe I'll just pause for a moment and let you sort of highlight some of the NovoPulse Education and Resource Center that I have seen, and really some of the tools that are available to NovoPulse doctors.
Yeah, thank you for that. Well, the team at NovoPulse, said, hey, this isn't just about a device. This is about treating patients, meeting them where they're at, and helping everybody understand, there's a multifaceted approach to pain management. And so what we did was we brought in pain management modules, training courses, how to utilize the device, different patient handout, all of those things that you can wrap around. And we call it the NovoPulse OA Pain Recovery Center. And we even took the step to say that, look, if our clients, and we call docs who purchase devices from us our clients, because they're our clients. We have that kind of a relationship with them, that if our clients would like to open a new service line within their practice that is a OA Pain Recovery Center, here it is. They get access to the dashboard. They have all of our training modules. Their staff can learn about pain management, and how to utilize the device. What's the best way to incorporate it into the practice? Who are the target patients, if you will, that you can help identify, utilizing pain assessment tools, all of that. And so we do have a pain management certification course for the doctors. It's approximately 15 credit hours that we do provide CE for, so that is an added component, if you will, for the docs. But it's really getting everybody on the same page when it comes to pain management. And there's a lot to know and understand about that, because pain can be derived from a number of different ways. Well, understanding that and then being able to use appropriate resources in the practice to help that patient, becomes important. And so we step back and realize that, look, this is going to take a comprehensive approach. Yes, our device is central to this approach, but then we wrapped it around, the knowledge base that'll be has been very helpful for our clients as they move forward in using it.
Thanks so much for checking out that interview. If you liked it, we have plenty more available. You can check out the next interview right here.